David Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Perhaps it's entirely appropriate I follow on from a Speaker who is disorderly, given the nature of this House all day. It's been the most disorderly House in many ways I've seen in 20 years. But he makes, my honourable friend makes a really important point. In one respect, he gives us an example of what we should have been debating had this parliamentary gambit not been attempted. What has happened today has been a very, very clever parliamentary gambit by the front bench of the Labour Party, but it is acutely undemocratic. What it has done has denied backbenchers on both sides the opportunity to debate what is one of the most contentious issues that's been in front of this House for some time. The Honourable Member for Rushcliffe there and I have completely different views on how this should proceed. He believes that this is a measure entirely necessary for the delivery of law and order. I think it is a measure which is pernicious to law and order. I take the view that the first duty of this House is ensuring justice for subjects of the British Crown. What it in fact has done has allowed a number of people, including my honourable friend's constituent, to suffer a parody of justice, frankly, to suffer a miscarriage of justice, and then have it arbitrated on by what you might term a parody of a justice system in courts outside the United Kingdom. I give way to my honourable friend Francis.
I'm very grateful for him, and he makes an entirely important point, and the House might be interested to know that my constituent Andrew Symeou, who languished in a jail for 11 months and was not served well by the European Arrest Warrant, has just tweeted, "Today should be about preventing injustice and protecting British citizens, not being used as a political football so debate can be heard."
And he's entirely right. The case of Andrew Symeou, the case of Deborah Dark, the case of Colin Dines. There are many cases out there of British citizens who have been badly mistreated. And it isn't just British citizens. 11 other countries, the leading criminal lawyers in 11 other countries have complained about this procedure in previous years. So this is a very serious issue. This House, above all houses, should have been in a position to debate at some length, not be faced with this awful choice between accepting untouched the government's business and foregoing the debate altogether in the fond hope of some other day. I give way to my honourable friend.
My right honourable friend for giving way. If we accept the motion put down by the Shadow Home Secretary, we do not forego the debate. We are allowed then to have a full debate, and the Home Secretary would be able to return with a proper motion on the European Arrest Warrant. So the Shadow Home Secretary's motion is much to be commended.
Well, I have to say I disagree with my honourable friend, very rarely disagree with him. I would have liked to have had a full-blooded debate with several motions on each component, or at least packages of components of this so-called package, but that wasn't available to us today. And there's no guarantee we'll get it if the opposition's motion succeeds. No guarantee at all. I'll give way to him again.
My honourable friend's absolutely right. There is no guarantee, if the opposition motion is carried, that we would get the proper debate that so many people demand. But the government, having behaved pretty shamefully today, will be facing huge embarrassment if it does not give in to the clear will of the House that there should be more time for debate. So again, I urge my right honourable friend to support the Shadow Home Secretary.
I'm afraid, and I'll explain why in a second, but I'm afraid that I am not in the business of sort of casting something on the waters and hoping it comes back. If I hear from the two front benches that they have agreed to meet tomorrow all day and to go through this business again, then of course I will change my view. But I'm not going to take a chance with something which is quite as invidious as this. Remember what we're talking about. We're talking about taking British citizens with no necessary evidence, no prima facie evidence, and sending them off to courts elsewhere in Europe. These courts, we are assuming, the law, or what we're asked to debate, assumes that these courts all deliver equal justice. Romania does not deliver equal justice. Bulgaria doesn't deliver it. Greece, Italy don't deliver it. Some of these are post-Soviet justice systems that we are sending our constituents to. And we need to make that point. And what's so anti-democratic about the opposition's proposal is that they are denying many speakers who were going to speak today, who are not speaking. I see, as you're not standing when the speaker calls for speakers. And that is a tragedy, because this, as I said, this House's first responsibility is delivery of justice for our constituents. And we will not have either the opportunity to discuss the alternatives, that of having a multiple negotiated outcome rather than the European Arrest Warrant we've been talking about today. We will not be able to talk about the other implications of the Europol and Eurojust for the action of the European Court and the ability of the Home Secretary to actually pass laws that will protect us. So all in all, Mr. Speaker, I think this is a very unfortunate outcome for Parliament today. Very unfortunate outcome for Parliament today. A very clever parliamentary trick, but very poor democracy. I give way to my honourable friend.
I thank my right honourable friend for giving way. Is it not only the people who wish to speak who have been cheated tonight, but also people like myself who wish to listen to the arguments on both sides?
Well, I agree with him, because he is being faced with a circumstance where he can hear some of us attempting to stay in order, Mr. Speaker, desperately. Some of us can make those arguments, but he will not be able to vote explicitly on those arguments. He has to vote on whether or not we have a vote on another day, or we close down a debate today. That is not the way that Parliament is designed to work, and I'm afraid, therefore, it is a travesty of democracy, which I'll give way.
I thank my right honourable friend for making his comments. Would not the solution to this problem be, though, that the government at the dispatch box now make it clear that they will make time available for us to allow us to discuss this issue properly, as the country wants, as this Parliament wants, and then we can move on? It's within their scope to do that now.
It is, of course, within their scope, and I had been very tempted at the beginning of this exercise to stand up and suggest to the Home Secretary that she shoots their fox, that she just says, we're going to have a day's debate tomorrow. There you are, all over. And they would look stupid, and we would look very democratic. Sadly, that didn't happen. So I'm afraid I'm not going to vote for this proposal today. I may abstain, I may double vote, but I'm not going to vote for the proposal, because I do not want us to leave uncovered what is a very, very important debate in the history of this House.